How's it going, everybody? In today's review, we're going to be going over the PSA AKV. But first and foremost, I just want to say thank you for all the continued support. I appreciate every like, comment, and new subscriber that I've gotten. It's very appreciated, and it makes me want to continue doing YouTube with every view, comment, and new subscriber. So let's get this channel to 1,000 subscribers. All right, now let's get into the video. Like I said, we're going to be reviewing the PSA AKV, where we're going to do an accuracy test, a suppression test, a magazine test, and run some drills, and then I'm probably going to run some miscellaneous ammo in one random magazine to see how reliable it will run. Alright, now we're going to get into the specs of the PSA AKV. It comes in a 10.5-inch nitride 4150 steel barrel with a 1 in 10 twist. It comes with a forged bolt carrier that has a last round hold bolt open feature. It has an ALG trigger, which is an enhanced trigger from what they're saying. It is a direct blowback operated firearm. It takes AKV style magazines and Scorpion magazines. It is chambered in 9mm, weighs just under 7.5 pounds. It has a full Picatinny rail on top where the dust cover is right here. Also a Picatinny rail up here too. Plenty of spots for your M-lock accessories and all that. It has a triangle pistol brace so it doesn't have to be SBR'd. The sights aren't the best on it, but it does come with some iron sights. And with that being said, let's get into the accuracy test. We're going to do the accuracy test of the AKV. I have a target set out at 25 yards. I'm going to shoot 5 shots at it and try to get the tightest of the groupings that I possibly can. All right, let's go ahead and get into it. All right, that's 5. Let's go ahead and check it out. I'm going to do a magazine test. I think this one is a actual CC Scorpion magazine. This one is a PMag. Nope, already a bad one on this one. Try it again. So with this one, it didn't want to seat it at first, so that's not a good sign. Then I have a ETS. Nope, this is actually an AKV from Palmetto State magazine. That one runs really well. This one is an ETS group magazine. I don't know how this one's gonna run. We'll go ahead and check it out. That one ran really well, okay? I think the best one that it ran was probably the PSA AKV, and then this one. It didn't run well with the PMag, which, I mean, I wasn't really expecting that. Okay, now we will do a suppression test. And now we are going to do a suppression test. I have 150 Syntec Federal. We're gonna shoot these down through the YHM R9 can and see how good it sounds and how good it runs. Oh, it's already jamming. All right, that ran pretty good. It just had a hard time loading the first round in because it kind of like jammed because they're square square instead of round. We're gonna do some walking and shooting. I will walk up to it and I'll stop about 15 yards from it, and then I'll start doing some double taps. All right, now I put in a magazine that has, I think, 5 different kinds of ammo. I think it has 115, 124, another different kind of 124, 147, and 150, and they're all in a miscellaneous order. So I'm just gonna shoot it and see how well it runs with all that different kinds of ammo. Nice. It ran right through it. Ate all of it up. Pros and cons of the PSA AKV. One of the first pros that I like about it is that it's so compact. I also like that it's chambered in 9mm because it's going to be fairly cheap to shoot. It's very fun to shoot suppressed because it's very little recoil and it's very quiet if you're using subsonic ammo. I also like how accurate it is for the lower to mid-tier PCCs. It's cool that it has lots of Picatinny space up top, so you can mount different types of optics. I also like all the M-LOK slots, so you can mount your foregrips, your hand stops, your lasers, your red dots, all that cool stuff. The ALG trigger is also a pretty cool, feature if you're into like bump firing or shooting very fast. I would love to show you guys, but YouTube wouldn't like that. I also like that it comes in pistol form because it saves me a $200 tax stamp from the government, so I don't have to SBR it. The pros, that's about it for the pros. The cons, I would say, I don't really like how unreliable it was with the PMags. I tried it with 115, 124 grain, and 150 grain, and no matter what I did, it just would not use the PMags. It also didn't like the flat head ammo. My Syntec ammo, wasn't the biggest fan of that. It would always jam up on the first round when you try to rack it. It's heavy for its size. It's 7.5 pounds. I don't think a PCC of this size should be that heavy. I also am not the biggest fan of the iron sights. The iron sights are kind of tacky and they don't really work well. They should have did something different, but that's just my opinion. PSA is doing some pretty cool stuff, but I also think that they don't do stuff that makes sense because some stuff doesn't work that well, or they don't do enough research or whatever behind it, because I do have a lot of things from PSA that don't work well. I'm sure I'll do a review about them in the future. So I just want to say thank you for all your continued support. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and keep watching my videos, and I will keep making them. All right, I'll see you on the next video.